In the previous episode, we built this combine harvester and hired Dave the pig, who harvests all of this wheat and all the new crops planted in this area. We, however, found out that Dave the pig has a problem with speeding and drifting. So in this episode, we will be fixing Dave's little problem, adding some form of garage for our combine harvester, and even look into processing some of these items. It's wheat, mainly wheat. So thanks to a lot of comments in last week's video, we have quite a few suggestions to help Dave with his problem. And I have to admit, a lot of you people actually came up for Dave and said, well, how is Dave supposed to drive nicely with such blocky tires? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch out those tires and get them a bit smoothed out. So first thing we need to do is head on down here and click disassemble train, and now we're just going to head up here, and the suggestion was that we should maybe take these out, because basically how will Dave ever be able to drive the combine harvester perfectly if the tires aren't perfect? So we're going to go around and change these and also change the corners on these. And there we go, that's a lot better. Rounded tires, so Dave should be drifting maybe a little bit less. Savage Key 13, thank you for this comment, I appreciate it. The second recommendation was to change the bogey location, because currently we have it at the front, so it does turn or pivot from that point, and the suggestion to move it to the center or to give this combine harvester 2 bogeys was not only given by 1 but 3 people. So thank you for Withered Golem, Viz Sovereign, and Juco the 10 Tails. So let's quickly add a bogey to the center. So we know it's 11 blocks, so if we go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one should be the center. So right behind this wheel, right in line over here, we need to do the new bogey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my station right there, because it's usually 1 to the front. And just like that, because let's see, this one's 1 to the front and we built there. So now that we have the station here, it's 1 in front of that block. We need to go over here and we're going to take the schedule, because that came from the pig up there, and we're going to grab this bogey and we're going to say cancel assembly. So now this should not be a train. We're going to keep that station, but now we're going to head on over here, say create new train, and we're going to say Alt to get our wheels selected. Place those down, and now we can glue all of this up like so. We can rip this out. We can also remove the glue on this, so we can rather glue all of that up. And if we go on all the way up here, we can just link it in there. And then this one we can also just rip out that glue and rip out that glue, because we don't need it anymore. And we can take out this glass. So let me get all of that sorted. And now if we say assemble, it should be a train again. So let's quickly go up and see. And we're just gonna take it and park it in front. Okay, so what I noticed, it did work and it changed, but we need to re-glue this harvester to, well, the harvesting part to the combine harvester. So let me quickly do that. So now the combine harvester is glued up and it's all moving as one, but we need to change the stations. For the station in front here used to be depot, but if it's going to stop here now, the harvester is going to stand in the road. So we need to remove this station and delete it and call this one depot and just change everything up. So that's basically just going to be us taking this name. I'm just going to copy that. And we're just going to mine that up. And then this one we're going to change back to depot. But instead of doing redstone again, what we can do is rip this out. And then we can take the schedule. We're going to say it's still depot. And what we're going to do is, instead of saying station powered, we're going to change it to time of day. And we're going to say, let's make it at 9 in the morning, maybe. Yeah, I think 9's a good time. And we're going to do it every day. So now every day at 9 o'clock, the train will leave and do its little round. So now it will only go once a day at 9 in the morning. And we do not need a daylight sensor to tell it to go anymore. So we'll see how that goes. We will change it up and play around with the time a bit. But thank you, Daniel M, for giving that suggestion. I appreciate it a lot. So let's get the combine parked, clean up this area, and sleep and see if we can get it to go. And we're off, and Dave is still racing for some reason. Not really sure why, but what I did notice is it seems a bit smoother, and there Dave races again. Yeah, so the turns are a lot smoother, and it looks a lot better. So I don't know if I'm going to go for the second bogey route, but I do need to figure out why Dave is racing. Because that's the thing, he races this whole track, and in this part he drives super duper slow. Another thing I noticed is a lot of the carrots don't get harvested, so I might have to look into that as well. But with that said, I think we already made a lot of improvements in regards to Dave, and I am sure he's going to start behaving real soon, apart from the occasional speeding ticket. I would also like to thank Moon for recommending Dave to us as a driver, because if he didn't make that recommendation, who knows who would have driven this combine harvester. So Moon, thanks again for recommending Dave. Well, I've managed to fix the last of Dave's schedule, and he's keeping to the speed limit, which is fantastic. And the new wheels, they look really cool. And we did some planning. Let me show you what it's all about. So the idea is, in front of here, marked by the red terracotta, we'll have the depot area. So over here, our combine harvester will stop, and it will deposit the items into the mill. Yes, a mill. And how I'm going to do that is this orange build will be the mill. So I'm thinking of doing a long type of build that runs all the way to the back over here. And in here we can have some vats containing the processed materials. And on the side we can even do maybe some more silos over here. And then in the middle we'll have like a little passage. We'll cover it with a small roof, so it will be like a flat roof. And then that will lead into these two bays over here, which I'm thinking of doing 2 parking spots. And in this parking spot we'll later on use for a vehicle, which will be parked over here, and it will ride on all the way over here and take the items to the next destination. So that's the general idea. And for this idea, I am actually looking at a building that is in my hometown, and it's called the Snowflake Flour Mill. And it's not going to be exactly the same. I'll see if I can pop an image on the screen. But the idea is there. We will have an offloading area, we'll have our processing areas, and then even the area where the vehicles stop. But to do that, we need to go and gather a bunch of blocks. So I'm going to see what I have, and I'll just put it in the bag. And if I need to go mine something, I'll be sure to show it. But let's do that. And we have this whole area cleared up. We've got the schematic cannon loaded. And once that's done, we're going to go ahead and place some manual blocks as well. But while we do that, it's time for you all to sit back and enjoy a little build montage. And we're done. So let's take a little look at this build. Yeah, I kind of like it. I like it a lot. It needs a bit more trees and stuff happening in the background, and also it looks a bit empty because the combine harvester is not in the way. But in general, it will stop right over here, and then we'll have something standing here most of the day. This little garage lines up, so I want to do another little vehicle in this area in the near future. And then we just have a secondary garage that I might just fill with junk, or another vehicle that's just permanently standing still. But if we run on over here, we've got this little area that's offloading. I did hide it behind a wall because it's not always pretty behind these things, so I did hide it behind this wall. And then over here, I incorporated the portable interface right over there, and that just drops into this little, almost want to call it a grid, and the items fall onto a conveyor belt that makes its way up into the build, and it goes into this little storage thing if you want. But if we go on to the inside of the build, and again, I think it looks really cool. but that just runs into these little chutes. And I just did this detail because I think it looked cool. It doesn't need to be like that at all, but this will then come down, and from here we'll send it over on a belt, and from this belt we will take the items that does not have to get milled, and we'll store them, say, maybe on this side, and then the wheat will continue through, and that will become processed into flour, and then we might also do an area for seeds and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go grab a bit of create components, and I'll be right back. So the first thing we need to do is just do this area over here, and we know for a fact that items will be coming from the belt, falling down and landing up on this spot over here. But then we want to go ahead and we want to take it over this way, and the reason for that is we're gonna leave it to pick up on this side, and from here we'll split it up, adding additional belts, so we will end up splitting the wheat into multiple tracks for processing. So the first thing I need to do is I think we need to add a point where items get picked up, and we can do it right over here. I'm just going to put a crafting table as temporary little place. We're going to do our little draw slave controller there, add ourselves a brass funnel pointing in, and on this list we did wheat and it's on a deny list, so this funnel should pick up everything except for wheat. Then the wheat will continue down this line, and I think we need to expand this one back like this. Then we can do tunnels. We can add our tunnels right over here, and we're just going to leave them to distribution method split. That's perfect. And then right here at the end we need to collect the items again. So I think if we do another draw controller over there with just a normal andesite funnel running into that, we should be fine. But then also we need to add the mills to this contraption, and then we need to merge it all back onto one line again. Okay, I think I figured out something, so I'm going to have to rip some of this out and I'll bring you right back. So currently the system does not look like much, but I did change it up, so we have these items falling down and just going straight through into the storage, and we will have everything running around along this line, even the wheat and the seeds. And then what will happen is once it's in the system, it will go to a drawer with wheat in it, but it will also get then dispensed by this little funnel over here that will run along this belt and get picked up by the mills, and the mills will grind it down to flour, and the flour and seed will just go back into this again. I already also connected it all with drawers, so this is where we will have some of the storage, and I think I might just continue the storage on this side. I'll see how it goes. But also we added power, so if I were to just do this, we have all the millstones going, and then if we add a gearbox, what does this do? These turn the wrong way, so we need to technically remove this one, do this one over there, and do this one over here like this. And now if we connect this, all of it's running the right way. So now what's left to do is sort out the drawers, get them into place, and just make this thing behind me look a bit prettier. So I've sorted out this contraption, I filled in some of the details, made it look a lot better, and I actually think it looks nice. And I also went ahead and added all the drawers. So in theory, if we take this wheat drawer and we plonk it down over there, wheat goes out, wheat goes in, and flour also gets picked up. Now flour is not going into the system because we don't have a drawer for flour, so we're just going to do that. And if we put that there, flour should also make its way into the system. And now we can just lock the drawer and give it a quantify key, and we should see everything working perfectly. So will that be fast enough? I'm kind of worried that this is maybe running a bit too fast, and even when we have other items come in, it's going to get clogged. So we might have to adjust the speed a little bit just to make it work. Oh, and I didn't even show this. Down here, we just dug out a hole. There was a natural water source here, so we just made it a little water wheel system for now until we can get some steam power going in this area. So now it's a little bit slower, and it should work a little bit better. So we have it. So we're making wheat, and we have all the items over here in this little storage. I'm going to remove all the upgrade slots. This will be a temporary little storage, as from here we will transport the stuff over to its final destination. But for now, I think it's looking good. I might add an additional silo or vat or something in here because it is quite a big build, but I'll think about it. So I ended up modifying it one more time because this belt wasn't powered. So all I did was move this up a bit, added a few more gearboxes, got it all powered. This one needs to get covered with some andesite casing, so let's just do that. And then I'm just chucking one in there because that's just going to be a placeholder for that, so items won't go past if this should clog up. But all of this is working now. Flour's getting put in. We already had to put in upgrades to this, and I added a void upgrade, but it all should be fine. All of this is also powered and going, and the only thing left for us to do is actually start this machine and see if it works. So I'm going to give the schedule back to Dave. There he goes. And as soon as we sleep, this machine should go, and then we'll do a little view of it and see also if it delivers items and if all of those items make its way into the storage. So I'll see you once I took a little nap. And off Dave goes. And as you saw in that clip, it works. It all works really well. Dave does his job pretty decently, and we do have a few things we need to sort out, like some of the carrots that don't get harvested. But in general, everything is working according to plan. But a few other things we've changed during that little clip was I added this little field over here. So now we have items, now we have wheat growing in this area. I did mess up the little patch of dirt around here a bit. I added some more bushes and leaves and stuff, added a bunch of crates with some produce to get dispatched. So in general, I think it looks really nice. I am still contemplating doing some form of a vat or tank in here, but I will see. I first need to think about that a bit more. But I think it's that time. I think it's time for us to head on over to the appreciation tunnel. Time for us to say thank you to every single person that contributes to this video, be it in the comments, be it over on the Discord, or be it over in the streams. I do appreciate it. So the first person we want to say thank you to is Juco the Ten-Tails, Peculiarly Lost, and Savage Ski. There are many more that I need to say thank you to, but we ran out of Ancient Breeze, so we might go do that in a stream in the coming week. But if you want your name in this tunnel and show your support, then remember, just comment, be part of the community, be it in the comments, be it on the Discord, and then who knows, maybe soon you find yourself here. But it's sadly that time of the video where I have to say goodbye. I mean, it's been such a fun-packed episode, and we created a really nice addition to this area, and we sorted a lot of the issues we had with our new employee, Dave. But till next time, I hope you enjoyed it, and do remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of this build, and what do you think of the changes? And I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.